Hello and welcome to today's episode of It Takes a Village to Raise a Child, a program that discusses matters pertaining to child protection. I'm your host and my name is Abigail Kashweka. On the program today we are discussing an issue that seems to be raising a lot of concern among its stakeholders, and this involves the withdrawing of girl children from school by their parents so that they are married off. Mainly this is done because parents want to gain something from having their children married off. This is like economical gain, and this is mainly for economical gain. And to help me discuss this topic, I'm joined by Mr. Shadrack Waluvita from Chisomo Community Program, and he happens to be the program's officer. So before Mr. Lubita comes in, would like to draw your attention to a news item that was covered by Paso Dimbani, so that you get to see what other stakeholders have to say about this matter.
Despite the introduction of free education, some parents have continued marrying off their children at the expense of taking them to school. In light of this, Young Women Christian Association YWCA has discouraged parents not to withdraw their children from school with the intention of marrying them off.
Look at the girl. Once she goes to school, she'll be educated, she'll find a skill, she'll start working, she'll even support you for more years. Not just that. We are not talking about benefiting from her, but we are saying that a child is a child. Let a child finish school.
And Zambia Police Eastern Province Community Service Coordinator Emmanuel Chabamba has described the act of marrying off minors as criminal. Mr. Chabamba says educating a girl child is very important and challenged parents to encourage their children to go to school in order for them to secure their future.
Starting from 1st January 2022 to 31st December 2022, we had recorded 384 cases of defilement, of which the highest sentence was 30 years. So it is important that members of the public desist from marrying off these young ones, because we want them to grow well in society and become good leaders as well. So what we want is gender equality, so that parity matches male and female altogether. We don't want women to be disadvantaged.
Early marriages have been a challenge, especially in some rural parts of Eastern Province, where marrying off a girl at a tender age is seen as a source of income to some parents, while others marry off girl children due to their traditional beliefs. Reporting for Zanis News, I'm Paso Dimbani in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Okay, so those are concerns that are coming from stakeholders like the Young Christian Women Association and the police. So, Mr. Lubita, what's your reaction to this clip?
Well, Abigail, in my opinion, there's much which needs to be done concerning this issue. And when you look at it closely, mainly like where we are situated here in the Eastern Province, most of the perpetrators are located in the far-flung areas, the rural areas of this place, where some of them information is not easy to access, and they're still dependent on many other things, for example, culture, which we are seeing today that some of the practices are actually infringing on the rights of the young people, most especially the girl child, because some of the parents are marrying off some of their children, basing it on culture, that they've become of age. They are 14 years of age, and the parent to say they are ready to get married, therefore let them go into marriage, not considering their future. That is why we have seen some of our colleagues reacting in such a manner. So it is very important that not only government, but even civil society, to throw its weight on what government has pronounced, to say let the children live their youth or live their childhood, not curtailing their childhood, because we are doing injustice to them. So personally, I feel that it is important that we engage the traditional leadership and other influencers to say, let them review first and foremost the cultural practices, which we have seen that they are not of help to the young people, so that when they repeal them and then they make pronouncements or declarations to say that this and that, it is no longer part and parcel of our culture as an integral part, then we'll be doing the right thing. And then the children themselves will value education. And in most of these areas, what we have noticed is that there are no role models. We need role models in these rural areas. When there are role models, for example, yourself, when we go with you in our outreach programs, and then you tell them, this is a girl, she was a girl like you.
You can be getting me, I'm available.
Really? That would be great, so that they should actually feel it that even a young person, a girl, can become somebody somehow in their lives.
What I find, sorry to cut you short, but what I find worrying is that this issue has been there like for the longest time. People have been talking about it, and there's less that seem to be changing. So where are we failing?
Yeah, so they've been talking about it. What did they do about it? Nothing. They'll talk about it on radio, on TV, but they've done nothing about it. It is a matter of taking a step, okay? There are many things that they have been attributed to these marriages or them leaving school, apart from parents influencing it, some of which is themselves. So we need to take a step to show the young children or the children themselves that actually this kind of behavior or lifestyle which they want to adopt, it is not going to help them. It is going to plunge them into abject poverty. And then at the end of the day, they'll start fathering children who are not accessing any help at all. So you find that it will be a village, and a village of illiterates, a village which is poverty-ridden. So no matter what we say, we improve this, we improve that, as long as those people are not educated, we should not expect to see development in those areas.
So in some instances, this issue is actually two-way. There are times when it's the parent that's maybe forcing the child to go into marriage. In other instances, it's the children themselves who are like defying their parents to go into marriage. So in an instance where it's the parent that's forcing the child, what interventions could work to address the situation compared to when it's the child that wants to go into marriage? Correct.
Also, there are two or more things that can be done concerning that. We've heard that the parents, all they're looking at is economical gain out of it. And mainly it's just a cow, maybe a cow or two. And then at the end of the day, what will it yield for them? Literally very little, if anything. Some opt for money, cash. And then what do they do with that money? Actually, they'll go and drink up that money. At the end of the day, they've plunged their own child actually, into problems. So that is a big problem when we look at it closely. So as at now, the way we are in Zambia, as at now, I should say that it would be very unfortunate for a parent to do that, because I feel that the government has done everything possible to make certain things, at least if you are interested, to access help, finances, whatsoever you can talk about. So I feel that certain services or certain help or assistance has been brought down to the level of every person in Zambia through the local authorities, through the councillors, and also the government itself through the Ministry of Agriculture. There are many things that a parent today can involve themselves in and have more money than sending their young daughter into an early marriage. Therefore, it is advisable and encourageable to say it's better they send their child into school and then they go to government to seek help. I'm sure they'll help them.
And as an institution, what are you doing on this matter?
As an institution, well, I can say that what we are doing is not much, but we are encouraging the young people, more especially the girls, even the boys, because the boys are the ones who impregnate the girls equally. So we are encouraging the young people, the girls, to go back to school. Those that are not, who were in school now, they left school because either pregnancy or whatsoever reason. But we try to encourage them. And also this year, we have also sent, I think as at now, there should be more young girls and even boys whom we've sent to Chipata Trades Training Institute for skills training. So this is just tailor-made for people like that, some of whom failed to accomplish their education to certain levels, but we've just made it possible that at least they should access tertiary education to get a skill, hoping that that skill will help them in their future. So in that small little way, that's what we have done, and we are continuing to encourage the young people, those that left school, to go back to school and access school. And when we encourage them, we help them with everything that is needed to go back to school. Mind you, today education, we are experiencing a free kind of education. So there's no question of school fees, but other requisites such as books, bags, and those little things. So we are helping them with those so that they go back to school and get an education. When they are done, we encourage them to go to college so that when they get a skill, probably they can pursue whatsoever they want to pursue in their lives. And then they'll be economically independent and economically viable, that they can do whatsoever they want, other than remaining at village level, struggling like their parents did.
Okay, so now we have a story shared by a girl child who was married off at 15 years old. At the moment she fell pregnant. So let's take a look at this.
Nizenda uchukwati ndishina 15 years. Neze na vumo. Amveni pele nkana vumo neze nkana makolo yangu. Basi nonipirikisha pele chimvote na vumo nonipeleka kunyumba. Pempeleka kwa kunyumba neze nkana ungovutika ne. Neze vutika. So nedumira fona mbuya. Ange thandizane kusana nze ndebewera kamboti umwana funga wereko mujoseko chikwati ndebewera sonkhirana na mbuye bweka ndrama kuna ngwambuye guliso Saturday market ndebewera chosa ndrama nange blender ikapo 100 kwacha ndemone werera ko nekwala so ne funa thandizo uti pa school nwerepo soti nenegeja grade 5 so funa ya benefitirishi yakola kuchoke school ngali nacho so muntu nthandize na yesesa muna chifamily nawo anika koli na nzero so funa nwerepo soti pa school hindo mchukwati ndafamily yongo khango vutika mchukwati.
So Mr. Lovita, the clip that we're just from watching involves a 15-year-old girl who got pregnant and also got married off at that tender age. So if you look at it, it also borders on issues of crime, because that girl was defiled for her to fall pregnant. How are these matters being handled out there? Do these parents get to report these cases as crime, or they just sort them out at household level?
Looking at the clip we've just watched, I'm sure it's the parents who married the child off. So the question is about crime. Were they aware that they were committing a crime? Yeah, seemingly they were not aware. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done that. So what we are seeing is that when we talk about the law, seemingly it is only applicable here in town, and in the rural areas, not much. Of course, if it's being done, I'm sure not too much. But what we want to see a situation where such things, they should not just be left just like that. But the parents, they need to be brought to book, questioned, if probably taken to court. If 1 or 2, 3 of them are arrested because of marrying off their child, I'm sure many other parents will stop doing that. And then they will know that there is a law that is going to do what? To punish us. And even children themselves, because at times they use scare tactics to get them married off. In our working with the young people closely, what I learned is that the parents who encourage their children to get married, because the man is going to take care of them, the man will buy lotion for them, the man will buy all their needs. That's what they are told. But alas, when they get into those marriages, the opposite is the reality. So I think it is very important that even these young people, before they go into marriage, they should be given an opportunity to choose what they want to do in their own lives. But in this case, of course, I know that it's their parents who are just bulldozing their way to get them off them. And also, some of the things that we've heard is that some parents tell off their children to say, at their age, they're unable to take care of them. So which parent is normal who fail to take care of their own children? Because at 15 years old, yeah. At that age, there are many things that child is vulnerable to, okay? Because the body at that age is not yet strong enough to handle a man, okay? So the man, yes, can do whatever he wants to do with it. That's a child, mind you. But the problems, they'll remain with the child. The child may become pregnant, but that pregnancy will come with a lot of problems. One of the problems that I can say, which I can mention right now, is fistula. I've seen young girls who are affected by that as a result of maybe being pregnant at a tender age. It's not an easy thing. It's a dehumanizing condition which no woman, personally, I don't feel that any woman should go through that condition, okay? Where the urine, the fecal matter, everything comes out, no control. You can imagine the stench that comes out. So it's not an easy thing at all. So if those people are situated far away from a hospital, that child believes, what will become of that person? Okay. So in the name of marriage, I don't think marriage should be like that. Marriage should be something that is well respected and well enjoyed by both the man and the woman, and without hiding from the law.
From your interactions with people in these communities, do you think they even understand their such health complications that come as a result of exposing girls to these issues at an early age?
Well, some, after interaction, they now understand. Some, they do not. But in some of the areas where we work from, where the chiefdoms have taken over some of the things, we are seeing a little bit of change. Yeah, so we only hope that one day, too soon, everywhere people will understand the need to value their children, because most people do not value their children. They produce children and then they want them to be like machinery whom they can just use for their benefit. So most especially the men, and most especially the men folk, my desire is to see the men turning away from what they do, because whatsoever reason that they will give you that they married off their child, whatever little they get, they use it to drink alcohol, and that does not benefit the family in any way. So whatsoever they do is a fallacy. Whatever they do is out of their own selfishness.
Okay, so to see what other stakeholders are doing about this issue, we visited Kagunda Mini Hospital, where the in charge shared some of the activities being undertaken at the youth-friendly space. Let's find out what we gathered.
I recommend these girls because it's very rare, especially in a place like Kagunda, where a number of vices like teen pregnancies, early marriages are the order of the day. If we talk about beer drinking and other things that may deter the health of adolescents go on, it's rare to find girls with a zeal to go back to school. So I wish if a number of people that can come on board and really help them, because really they are struggling. If we to narrate on how they came up, how we managed to take them back to school. They never had uniforms, they never had even books. Even as I speak now, they've got few books, and of which we just decided to donate, to put our few resources that is docent focal point person for the facility and the district focal point person, Mr. Chipet. So really, they really need a number of things for them to feel like another child with the interest of education. And we also took advantage of the free education policy, and of which, for me, I feel it's they've welcomed the call by the president that each and every child should at least have education.
That clip brings us to the end of today's episode, but before we go, Mr. Lubita, can you react to the clip, and also as you react, kindly share your closing remarks?
Thank you so much. Actually, it is encouraging to see the health people getting involved in these matters, which is quite rare. I know for sure that youth-friendly spaces are very important amongst the young people, because it will help them to understand more special issues to do with their sexual reproductive health. Then we have seen that the people or the health personnel at Kagunda Mini Hospital going beyond what they do normally. So, which is an encouragement. I only hope that many others can replicate or emulate what this young man is doing out there, because the young people already, I can tell that they feel protected, and they feel that they are part and parcel of the integral society. Because when you talk to the girls, some of them, they feel that they are in Zambia, but they don't feel that they are part of Zambia, because their parents, they just want to use them as if they are commodities which vapia, they are now ripe. They can be offloaded onto the market. That's how some of the young people feel. Therefore, they feel that they have not lived their young age to fullness, or their youthful age to fullness, because their parents were just keeping them up to a certain age, and then they push them off onto the market. So that's what is happening to these young people. So in closing, what I would say is that we want to see many other things being done out there, not only surrounding the town area, but we want to see more NGOs to venture into the interior. We want to see the child protection committees. I know that we have one here at the provincial level. There should be many others at the district level. And at district level, they should also penetrate the far-flung areas, the rural areas, the villages out there, so that whatsoever involves the young person, the child, even the villager, should know about it. And they should know that marrying off a child is a crime. And what I would want to see is that, apart from just hearsay, no here whatsoever, but we want to see many people, if anything, parents being arrested for marrying off their children. And other parents, that will be a scarecrow, and then they'll be scared to marry off their children. And then it will become mandatory for every parent to know about child protection services in Zambia.
I know I said we're concluding, and those were your closing remarks, but there's just one more issue that I feel we can talk about. The issue of the Child Code Act. I know it's tackling basically the things that we're talking about right now. Do you see the contents of that act trickling down to the people at the grassroots?
It is, but at a very, very, very slow rate. That is why I said we need to see more players on board, and we should not restrict ourselves to the town setup, but we should go into the rural areas, so that even there it should reach them. Even there they should know its content, because when they know its content, that is a deterrent already for them to marry off their daughters.
Okay, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I was your host, Abigail Kashweka, and on behalf of the entire production crew, see you next time.